Thanks for staying with us. The Nigerian Customs Service continue to implement government policies on how things should operate in the country. Also on customs support, COA President distribute health materials to officers in the service. Plus, more report. I am Igiseme Itiye. Stay tuned. The Nigerian Customs Service has continued to work with federal government directives in the area of revenue generation and anti-smuggling. The present management of the Nigerian Customs Service has been implementing government guidelines without fear or favor. The Controller General of Customs has continued to focus on policy thrusts of Tinubu administration.
The Consultative Committee urges government action to boost trade and protect local businesses through exchange rate moderation. The Customs Consultative Committee (CCC) has called on the federal government to review the Nigerian customs law to mitigate the impact of naira exchange rate fluctuations against the dollar. During the inaugural quarterly Open Trade Roundtable breakfast meeting held at the Lagos Continental Hotel, Victoria Island, the committee emphasized the importance of this review to safeguard local businesses involved in imports and exports. Comprised of representatives from trade organizations, the Manufacturers Association of Nigeria (MAN), business owners and industry players, the CCC highlighted the potential of the new law to increase Africa global trade volume, which currently stands at a mere 2%. Additionally, the CCC expressed its commitment to collaborate with the government by providing institutional support to ensure the effective implementation of the new acts.
Today, we stand at the precipice of an exciting future, one that builds upon the achievements of the past and takes us even further. This administration is committed to adopting a bottom-up approach where the needs of their nation takes precedence over every other thing. We will prioritize efficiency in service delivery as the bedrock of trade facilitation and revenue generation. No longer shall encumbrances impede trade. We shall dismantle obstacles and foster a new culture of consultations and compliance. In order to achieve our objectives, it is imperative that we bridge the current human resource gap within our ranks.
While acknowledging the positive aspects of the law, the committee stressed the need for the government to demonstrate the necessary political will to enforce it. The CCC also emphasized the importance of incentivizing good corporate governance and strict compliance with maritime sector regulations. Raised concerns about the inconsistency in penalizing violations, stating that it is contradictory to encourage lawbreakers while those adhering to government policies suffer significant losses. Efforts to enhance the efficiency and profitability of Nigerian ports were also highlighted by the CCC. It called for the adoption of global best practices, emphasizing the need for ports to operate 24/7 and avoid the bureaucratic tendencies observed in the Nigerian port system.
To deliberate on those issues that relate to the implementation of the TFA agreement. So on one side, we are doing that, and we are doing it at the level of all the agencies that are in the committee. On the other hand, we are looking at our neighbor, the Republic of Benin, and we felt that we should not just ignore what is happening in that place. The reality of the situation is that many Nigerians are going there, and we don't want to lose sight of that fact. And Nigerians going there have so many implications for us. We are losing revenue, losing job, we are losing resources, and smugglers are getting daring. They want to bring in their things as much as possible. So as we are making this effort here in trade facilitation to make our port more competitive, to bring in efficiency, to reduce cost of, we are also looking at that particular side to see how can we ensure that our system do not get surchanged. How can we ensure that the processes are put in place that will allow you to do things legitimately. So we understand that when you pull one string, it affects some other places. But the collaboration we have with our colleagues, our neighboring countries, provides us the opportunity to look at all the issues holistically and ensure that Nigerian interest remains paramount.
Furthermore, the committee advocated for improved trade facilitation among key stakeholders, emphasizing the digitization of ports to reduce downtime and enhance trade relations. It also urged the federal government to reevaluate the timing of notices given to terminal operators, as the current time frames of 30 and 14 days were deemed inadequate. Recognizing the dynamic nature of international trade and security supply chains, the CCC emphasized the need for process and operational reassessments.
All these things were to bridge the gap that has been not there for long, but now, with what we are seeing here today, it has given more confidence to do more and to make sure we get to where we want to get to.
And it's more or less like very, very impressive, I must tell you. This is what we want, this is what we'll be advocating. Let more of this happen within the community system. It's going to help the system.
The Nigerian Customs Service aligns itself with the expectations of World Trade Organization and WCO, and believes that predictability in business is what will sustain every business. And what happened here today is an attempt to encourage predictability in business.
The CCC is committed to providing a platform for critical stakeholders in the transport and trade industry to interact freely and genuinely. It will articulate ideas and recommendations to policymakers in the supply chains, aiming to eradicate technical and human barriers that hinder trade fluidity and address issues within the shipping sector.
The Nigerian Customs Service and Special Wildlife Office and Federal Operation Unit Zone C has seized a 40-feet container of illegal wildlife products that was about to be imported into the country. During the seizure, the team in Nigeria arrested a suspect supplier of the ivory in addition to the shippers.
The Nigerian Customs Service Special Wildlife Office and the gallant officers of Federal Operations Unit FOU Zone C in a joint enforcement operation with the Wildlife Justice Commission WJC on the 16th of May 2024 in the eastern part of Nigeria identified and apprehended the shipper of a 40-feet container of illegal wildlife products that was intercepted and reported by Vietnam authorities in April 2024. During the same joint operation, on the 17th of May, barely 6 weeks after the news was reported in Vietnam, the team equally arrested a suspected supplier of ivory in addition to the shipper. Apprehending these persons is to send a clear signal to other perpetrators of these illegal acts, which are in contravention of the Customs Export Guidelines, Nigerian Customs Service Act, and the Endangered Species Act of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, that wildlife trafficking, illegal wildlife trade, and any form of wildlife crime will not be condoned. The Comptroller in charge of FOU Zone C, Comptroller Mike Ubago, said this is also to reaffirm the Nigerian Customs Service NCS's commitment to support all global initiatives to fight wildlife crime in all its forms. Furthermore, the NCS and WJC partnership is strengthened and more determined than ever before to dismantle the entire supply chain of illegal wildlife criminal networks operating from Africa to Asia. According to the officer in charge of the NCS Special Wildlife Office, Assistant Comptroller Abimbola Isafiade, The efficient and multi-focused response by NCS to the seizure in Vietnam demonstrates that it is not business as usual concerning the Nigerian-Vietnam trafficking corridor and NCS's success in apprehending both the shipper and supplier bills on the 3 years of successful arrest and prosecutions of key members of local and international ivory trafficking networks. In addition, she says the NCS will continue to follow up in order to find all those who benefit from this crime.
You are watching the program Customs Report. The wife of the Controller General of Customs and also President of COA has distributed medical items to officers in the service. So the medical items will help the officers to perform well as check their health status in the service.
I urge each and every one of you to take this year's theme of this Hypertension Day, take it to heart. Let us measure our blood pressure accurately, take proactive steps to control it, and embrace the opportunity to live longer, healthier, and a more fulfilling lives. In view of the above, COA is giving about over 200 blood pressure machine, upper arm blood pressure machine, free of charge. To our members and also officers. As COA, we are pillars of support to our husbands. We are the doctors, we are the nurses, we are the teachers, we are the domestic engineers. And that's why we have taken it upon ourselves to see that this day will not pass without us creating awareness around this hypertension.
While a Deputy Director General, who also represented the CG, has this to say on the items.
I commend the Nigeria Customs Wise Officers Association for organizing this event to create awareness about a critical health issue that affects millions worldwide, that's hypertension. I want to say to members of COA that as spouses of dedicated custom officers, you have demonstrated your understanding of the importance of vigilance and responsibility by organizing this event. Because we can rightly assert that as we work daily, we are the gatekeepers at the borders, but you are our gatekeepers at home. So what you have done today shows that you really know what we are going through. And it shows that you cherish us, you want to keep us going, you want to keep us well balanced, so that as we are contributing to national building, we can be contributing to the building of the family and the community.
The controller in charge of FOU Zone A has paid a working visit to the Commissioner of Police in Ogun State. He also visited the paramount ruler of Yewa Land in Ogun State. He said his visit is to further strengthen the existing relationship with the police in Ogun State. He was welcomed by the State Commissioner of Police.
It's a testament to the strong synergy and partnership that has been existing between our agencies, especially in our efforts in our strive to ensure that there is palpable peace and security in our nation. I equally want to commend you and your personnel for their professionalism and commitment, especially as it relates to your operational strive, because I'm aware basically federal operations, your job is basically more of enforcement, and we understand how vicious smugglers can be, especially at the border areas, because we are not unmindful of the fact that some of them equally bear arms, and that explains why there are always traces of serious engagements that will lead to fatalities while you carry out your responsibilities. The truth is, the challenge we have emanates from the fact that in the border areas, they have that feeling that smuggling is a right, it's like a pastime. So they don't really seem to see any offense in it. And that is why, like we had agreed earlier, we need more of advocacy and sensitization for them to purge themselves of that mentality as if it is a right to engage in smoking, forgetting that as far as the country is concerned, it is a serious offense.
The controller also said the purpose of his visit is to make sure that everybody understands the working of the Nigerian Customs Service.
Very germane to our successful operation in Southwest, because the Jikopo flats as a border area is very, very big, bigger than Sinai. So I felt that I should make my first really costly visit to the person in charge of the command in the Nigerian police, a person of our city commissioner of police, a fine gentleman. I used to follow his trends in administration. I was just telling him that peace and tranquility is here. Though I know it must be something from his experience, but when you listen to the political fighter here, you know that he's an experienced police officer. So I come to pay courtesy call and thank the command on behalf of the Nigerian Customs Service for the assistance they have been rendering to us. Because each time we have issues in the course of our operation, the first security agency we run to is police.
He also visited Ulu of Ilaro and paramount ruler of Yawa land.
In recent time, we have been having peace and a very, very cordial relationship with the Customs Service in Yewa land, especially since the assumption in office of the new Comptroller General, who I want to say has brought professionalism into your operation. Before he came, your service has been militarized, I would say it that way, because most of the activities of the operation were in military approach compared to what we experienced before the assumption of the former CG. And the reason are not far-fetched, is the background. But thank God that the new president has corrected that last by ensuring that a professional, trained custom officer took charge of the office. So
the controller has this to say.
With little experience I've gathered during my stay here as Deputy Controller in charge of intelligence, I believe Ilaro is very key for me to succeed, because being the largest city and possibly maybe the third largest city in Ogun State, and being the largest city that we can see near the border area, I think it's very, very important for me to come to Yusa and receive royal blessings and register my presence first before I start work, because I want to feel free to call on Yusa from time to time to seek
for your fatherly advice.
The Nigerian Army has delivered a lecture to continue to promote respect in the society. The lecture was delivered at Customs College in Ikeja.
The lecture, if you really listen to the lecture very well, a lot of things necessitated this particular lecture. The changing nature of our society today, security issues, unconventional war going on, faceless enemies, and as you all know, the Nigeria Customs are part of the security agency that is very, very vital in curbing the menace of insecurity in the country. They man the borders and check the illegal smuggling of firearms into the country. So they need to keep their officers informed of the happenings in terms of security and the realities on ground. So this necessitated this particular lecture, and we touch issues that are vital to their profession. Issues of adaptability, resilience as subordinate officers. They need to cultivate those skills that will make them to adaptable to changing situations, environment challenges they found themselves. And of course, in doing that, they need to keep the tempo. They need to sustain the pressure. They need not to be distracted, not to get tired, so that they will become resilient officers and serve the country in a manner that will be commended.
While the commandant of the college has this to say on the lecture.
First of all, I would like to thank the Comptroller General of Customs for this beautiful opportunity accorded us to have this training. And we are very happy to have the military coming into the college to allow the students to tap from their wealth of experience with the view of adding value to their capacity building. And this effort is in line with the Comptroller General of Customs drive towards changing the narrative of the service, particularly as it concerns capacity building of personnel. And the lecture delivered today, the contents very rich, and was delivered by a seasoned senior officer of the military. And this also goes to show the essence of collaboration. We'll continue to collaborate with other government relevant agencies so that we can have a collective effort towards building the nation.
The Federal Operation Unit Zone A has arrested 20 suspects who smuggled goods into Nigeria through the unapproved route. The seizures include bags of foreign rice, units of imported used vehicles, and cannabis.
Ijebu or an express road, they will disguise and conceal it. They will conceal it inside trucks. And if you don't have intelligence, you will think it's ordinary bus, commercial bus.
The unit also arrested a self-acclaimed custom officer who, until his recent arrest, had deported some of his suspected victims in the country.
Campaign for a better Nigeria, where citizens contribute to the fight against smuggling. It is pertinent to reiterate that our consistent engagement with stakeholders and critical partners comprising of officers from other services in line with the vision of Comptroller General of Customs, that Bashir Adewale Adeniyi, MFR, DSM, FNIPR, PSC DAGA, In line with the Contra-General mission of collaboration with the Nigeria Police, the Department of State Security Services, members of the Association of Nigerian Customs License Agents, ANCLA, National Association of Government-Approved Freight Forwarders, NAGAF, traditional rulers, and patriotic citizens for cooperating with the service.
The controller had continued to engage stakeholders in the fight against smuggling. According to him, he urged genuine businessmen and women should help the Nigerian Customs Service to fight smuggling along the nation's borderline. The Customs Boss said that the Command Enforcement Unit sustained its anti-smuggling drive in all nooks and corners of the command. So the command intercepted 404 various contraband items within the period under review.
All of these vehicles have special bunkers built in it. You can't see them with the ordinary eye. And so it is that, ordinary normal means that other people who use to go about their normal businesses are used by these individuals to carry out these activities.
He also announced the seizure of cannabis brought into Nigeria with finished furniture chairs. So that 18 suspects were arrested in connection with the seizures.
Area of revenue, the command has continued to sustain the tempo, and in the period under review, we have collected a total sum of 2,634,190,645 naira 3 kobo only. This amount surpasses the amount collected for the same period in 2023 by 272%. In export, the command facilitated 143,468 metric tons of export produce.
The Customs Boss observed that the upward trend in the trafficking of drugs through semi-border will not be allowed by the Nigerian government. Just before the end of this week's edition of the program, we brought you a report where the Nigerian Customs Service has continued to seize and intercept consignments coming in and outside the country. For me, Egiseme Idinye, thanks for watching.